the triwave activation and the rare frequency souls coming online. This is a message for the collective, and it comes from something I witnessed very clearly in the field yesterday while I was traveling. It arrived unprompted, and it arrived with the kind of precision that doesn't leave room for interpretation. It felt like a direct look at what is unfolding through the next 12 months, and I'm bringing it forward now because this information is meant to be shared, not held privately. So take a moment, settle in, and let your system listen from the part of you that recognizes truth by resonance, not by logic. The rare frequency souls already incarnated. As I tuned in, I was shown a group of souls who are already here in human form. These are not walk-ins, and they are not arrivals from another point in time. They're embodied in the same way you and I are. But what makes them different is the frequency signal encoded within their higher template. This is not a frequency that the planetary grid has been able to support for thousands of years. It wasn't accessible, it wasn't stable, and it couldn't be embodied at the density Earth has been sitting in, but now it can. And these individuals, these rare frequency carriers, have been waiting for the exact harmonic window when their signal can activate without distortion. What I was shown is that their activation timeline has begun. It will take place gradually over the next 12 months, and when they reach embodiment, it creates a resonance point strong enough to affect the global field. Their activation doesn't look dramatic, it looks coherent. When their frequency turns on, their field begins broadcasting a tone that naturally lifts anyone already in an ascension trajectory. It's not forceful, it's not hierarchical, it's simply resonance mechanics. When enough nodes activate, the whole system rises. The rods rising from the Earth. The next part of the vision shifted into the planetary structure itself. I saw rods rising from the Earth, vertical beams of light emerging out of the crust and extending upward into the atmosphere. These rods were not part of the traditional grid system. They felt lighter, faster, and more refined. Each one held a very specific tone, almost like a tuning fork, anchoring a higher harmonic into the planet. These rods weren't evenly spaced, but they were precise. It felt like each one was planted exactly where the planet could hold the frequency without collapse or distortion. It was clear these rods are part of an entirely new energetic scaffolding being constructed above the old grid. And what stood out most was that the rods weren't activating from above, they were activating from within Earth itself, rising upward as though the planet had finally reached a resonance point that allowed these structures to surface. The Earth is not passive in this process. She is participating, she is lifting the triangular connections. After the rods established themselves, something beautiful and incredibly precise happened. Lines of energy began forming between the rods. They connected in perfect triangular formations, not squares, not crisscrosses, not chaotic patterns, triangles. Each connection created stability. Each triangle locked a portion of the grid into coherence. The more the triangles formed, the stronger the structure became. And this structure didn't feel like an overlay of the old grid. It felt like an entirely new layer forming above it. A lighter, higher bandwidth field designed to hold frequencies that the original grid simply couldn't. This triangular architecture was the first sign that this wasn't a biphase system. This was triwave. You could feel it. The triangles held a harmonic unity that a dualistic grid cannot. The more connections that formed, the clearer it became. A triwave field was taking shape above the Earth. The triwave frequency coming online. This was the moment the field shifted. As the triangular connections locked in, the energy shifted into a triwave current. It was unmistakable. A triwave field carries 3 points of conductivity. It's the natural form of energy used in higher dimensional systems. It doesn't collapse into polarity. It doesn't rely on charge and discharge. It doesn't drain, it simply sustains itself. The triwave frequency is the signature of a planet returning to an eternal life system. It's the hallmark of a grid that can hold coherence without collapse. This is why the rare frequency souls are so important. They hold the triwave in their higher layers. Their embodiment is what switches this grid on. When they activate, the triwave begins flowing through the rods, through the triangles, and across the entire planetary field. This is the lift. This is what will raise the base tone of Earth without destabilization or rapid collapse of the old structures. It's a gentle inversion of the decay cycle, a pullback into the higher harmonics. The next 12 months, what the collective will feel. As the triwave begins to sync with the human body, sensitives will feel this first. Some may feel a pressure in the chest or throat, a soft internal recalibration, more emotional clarity or sudden emotional release, a shift in sleep, digestion, and temperature regulation, a pull toward solitude or silence, more rapid timeline adjustments, clearer intuition with fewer distortions, and waves of fatigue that come not from illness, but from integration. Your body is syncing with a field that wasn't present before. It takes time for the emotional, mental, and physical layers to adjust. But the message was clear. This is not collapse. This is not instability. This is coherence. The triwave frequency is the most stable harmonic Earth has held in thousands of years. Once it anchors, the collective won't have to push their awakening. The field will begin supporting it. The rare frequency souls will act as the initial nodes. The rods will act as the anchors. The triangles will act as the distribution system. And the triwave itself will be the harmonic lift that carries the planet into its next phase. As this unfolds, I'll continue to bring forward what I'm shown. We're in a window now where the higher harmonics are becoming accessible again, and the Earth is meeting them with a level of coherence I haven't seen in this lifetime. If you're feeling stretched, tired, emotional, or pulled inward, you're not doing anything wrong. You're syncing with a frequency that your body has been waiting for. Stay connected, stay grounded. More information will continue to come through as the field builds and as these activations ripple through the collective. This is just the beginning. Thank you for listening and for showing up in this shift with awareness and presence. Your coherence matters. I'll continue to bring these updates forward as the field builds. More soon. This is Mysticallylily.